While the United States are in the middle of a quite tight and polarized electoral process, Europe has good reasons to hope that a new administration would revive the damaged transatlantic relations. Joining me from Paris to discuss expectations and concerns from this new reality in the United States is the president of the Instituto Jacques Delors and former Prime Minister of Italy, Enrico Letta. So, Mr. Letta, many thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So the whole world has been watching this unprecedented electoral process in the United States. So what is this process telling us from a European perspective for this new reality on the other side?
The first point is that the American people is very divided. And this division will last probably for a long period. So we have to take into consideration this division. At the same time, the new president has, I think, an important role in restoring a different transatlantic relationship, because it is clear that last 4 years were very complicated at the transatlantic level. And if I just think of this crisis, the worst crisis ever, pandemic, recession, post-pandemic, for the first time, we are dealing with a crisis without a transatlantic discourse, without a transatlantic response or a transatlantic-based reaction.
You know, many European outlets suggested that the American democracy is on the brink of collapse. And it's true that we see for the first time a president claiming electoral fraud and saying clearly that he's not going to accept the result. So is it true that the American democracy has failed? And what does this mean for European democracies in the end?
I think the problem of democracy is a general problem of the Western world. It's a problem in America, but it is a problem also in Europe. This is why we have to take into consideration some ideas on how to reinforce, restore democracy, how to create new opportunities for citizens to be in touch with representative democracy, with leaders, with parliament. And what is happening in the States, I think it is mostly based on the attitude of Donald Trump that is unacceptable for many reasons. His attitude in relationship with judges or with the rules or the rule of law, competences of local authorities in this very particular moment, I think it is unacceptable. But it is true that half of the American people is voting for him, even if he has this unacceptable behavior. And I have to say that in many European countries, you have similar behaviors or attitudes. So at the end of the day, I think there's a general problem of democracy in our Western democracies. And I think we have to take into consideration the need to change it, to introduce new tools, and to try to reinforce democracy today.
And in the end, what is more at stake for Europe? Is it trade? Is it environment? Is it security? Or is it even its own unity?
I think for Europe today, it is very important to relaunch the European dream after Trump and Brexit. In 2016, we had Trump and Brexit together. And these two challenges were very, very tough against European idea, the idea of integration, because both Trump and Brexit were in terms of disintegration, in terms of nation state. Nation is better than sovereign national. I strongly hope that something will change in this very period. We are also at the end of Brexit negotiations. So I think the European Union has to consider his own future in terms of starting from our own values, having our own strategic autonomy. I think the new discourse has to start around this new strategic autonomy. And the future of Europe is based on our values and not on discourses related to our relationship with others.
So, Mr. Letta, thank you very much for being with us here on Euronews.
Thank you.